Hi, welcome back to The Scent Advocate. Tonight I want to talk about fragrance bottles in my collection that I absolutely hate. Really can't stand these. I think it's important to distinguish between the bottles that I hate and the contents of the bottles, which I love. After all, I would not have purchased the full bottles if I did not love the fragrances, and I do, every last one of them. The bottles, however, in my opinion, are not good. I'm going to talk about those, but before I do, I want to make it crystal clear that these are my opinions, my experiences, neither of which is necessarily shared by anyone else. This is just me. I'm not trying to darken the image of any brand or any packaging or any fragrance. This is just my experience and my opinion. Let's not belabor that. I'm a lawyer. You got to give me a little grace. Okay, let's jump right in. The first I want to talk about is Snowbird. Binaurale. There we go. This is a cold, freshy, your skin, but better. It's lovely stuff. It's got a little bit of a background of like a yellow floral. I'm not much of a floral person, but it's a clean, cold, little bit soapy, fresh out of the shower, wonderful. Any time of year this would work. It's just heavy enough to be fantastic in the winter too. What's the problem? This. Like the cap is in there on top of this toy. And the toy is, I think it's a globe. I think that's what it's supposed to be, right? So I believe this is North America, this is South America, this is Africa, Asia, right? And let's keep following, Australia, etc. I love my fragrance collection, and I don't want fragrances that come with a toy on top. I feel this is, in my opinion, this is juvenile, which is fine. If that is your aesthetic, you do you. This does not match anything in my collection, and I think the fragrance is so good and so delightful. I just think it deserves better packaging that is a bit more serious, given the integrity versus the packaging. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think this is great if you're 10. Or if you have a collection that's geared towards, these kind of quirky toy-like bottles. I don't. So this doesn't appeal to me. I really don't like this bottle. I don't even like the sticker on top that says Snowbird. It just looks, to me, it looks too juvenile. I don't like it. I'm 53 years old. This isn't where I'm at in life, but the fragrance sure is. Gorgeous stuff. If you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. Do I think it's worth the bottle? The experience trying to figure out where to put the bottle among my collection? Absolutely. That's why I bought it. Gorgeous stuff. Hate the bottle. Moving on. Cheap and Chic by Moschino. Okay. This eau de toilette is a powerhouse. It's 100 ml. Love this stuff. I wore this when I needed to feel powerful going to court when I was a new lawyer. It just gave me some strength. I felt like I couldn't be defeated. And I went in just, it was that little boost I needed to feel at the top of my game. Despite this being an eau de toilette, it is a force to be reckoned with. You definitely want to be careful with this. This feels more like a parfum or an extrait in my wearing experience. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I've had this in my collection for almost 30 years. Okay, I love it. I always keep a bottle. But to me, it looks like olive oil from Popeye. Again, if that's what you want, great. That's not what I want. I want the fragrance. This is, to me, special. It's nostalgic. This is the early part of my career. It stands for something to me. And I don't think I'm alone, right? This is the kind of fragrance you wear when you want to make a memory, and it works. But it looks like olive oil to me, and I think it makes it's less serious than it deserves. Not that every fragrance bottle has to be serious. I'm not suggesting that, but I feel this is silly, and it doesn't do the fragrance justice. However, this is somewhat iconic, right? You look at this and you know right away what it is. So I guess the bottle has kind of gotten a pass because it's holding a fragrance that's so good. Still, I can't stand the bottle. I wish they'd do something different with it. Moschino. Cheap and Chic. Next, we've got Courture. But anything by sniff. Yeah, this feels, to me, this feels cheap, and I mean, I like the fact that it's a magnetic top, I guess, but I don't like anything else about it. I don't think a fragrance that smells this good. By the way, this is a beautiful, it dries down to be woody, but it is a blueberry crumb pie. A true gourmand, but the dry down is really, it makes it great for anyone. It's not a little kid's fragrance, even though it might look like that. This is not my first bottle. I absolutely adore it. A good blueberry, in my opinion, is really hard to find, and this is one. This is better than, in my opinion, fragrances you spend, 5 times the amount for. I think this is better. And it just breaks my heart that it looks like this, because I would love to display it more prominently in my collection. And I'm not saying that, I'm willing to pay hundreds of extra dollars, but I do think they could do better. Sniff, come on. You're very popular. Maybe you could do better than this. Maybe. Spicebomb by Viktor Rolf. This is the extreme version. I love this. It's masculine leaning. It is indeed a Spicebomb. How do you know? Because the bottle looks like a grenade. Well, this is Coca-Cola meets allspice meets a little bit of wet tobacco. Absolutely stunning stuff. But it looks like a grenade. Maybe this is a masculine leaning I don't know. I mean, I don't know any guys that necessarily want a grenade looking thing among their bottles. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. It's not my aesthetic. I have lovely fragrance bottles throughout my collection, and I don't count this among them in terms of the bottle. The fragrance itself, to die for. Absolutely beautiful. I think this outperforms many similar style niche fragrances by far. So if you haven't checked this out, and this is the extreme version, like I said, definitely do. Gorgeous stuff. I hate the bottle. This is Juicy Courture, and this is a Viva La Juicy Glacé. This is 100 ml, and it smells amazing. This was a present, but again, it comes with a toy. It's got feathers, and it's got a little rose, and it's super cute. But the fragrance is really youthful. I'll give you that. But this was a gift, and I love it. I love it because it smells good, and it was a gift, and I'll never get rid of it. I will use it up. But I really wish I think if the bottle didn't have this doodad on it, and I guess I could take it off, but it looks kind of like naked without it. Maybe if it were like this or something, it would be a little bit better, I think. But it just, I don't know. Again, the fragrance is, in my opinion, too good for this. This ruins it for me. So I don't like the aesthetic of the bottle. Similarly, Marc Jacobs. Oh, so fresh. What do you think? Again, great if you're 12. Beautiful floral fragrance, And this actually doesn't smell bad on me, which is nice. It does get a little bit cloying, so I have to use it very sparingly. But I would like it so much more if the bottle didn't look like this. I would display it differently and it would be an easier reach. Right now, these bottles sit among my makeup because they just do not go with the rest of the collection. So there you have it. I'll stop right there. Again, in closing, these are just my opinions. I love the fragrances. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. If you're not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing and give me a like. See you in the next one. Bye.